Hey guys, it's PJ and it's time for another video. So after my last video went live, and after I told you guys that if you had any disability related questions to post them in the comment section below, and maybe they'd be the topic of my next video, I asked Instagram the same question. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, go to the channel banner on my YouTube channel, hit the Instagram icon, and follow my channel, or follow my page. So, and just DM me and let me know you're part of the YouTube subscriber, and I will add you to my page because I've got my settings set to where I have to add people. But anyway, so I asked my Instagram followers what they would, if they had anything they wanted to ask, and if they wanted me to cover any specific thing in my next video or in videos down the road. And one of my friends got back to me. She wanted me to cover, or wanted to see if I'd cover. I didn't have to, but she wanted to have a little bit more insight into transition from high school, teenage world to adult world when you're having to make decisions. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I hope this video can give you guys a little bit of insight. Fair warning, this is just my experience and my thoughts, because just like everything else related to disability, not every subject is going to be the same thing all the time for everybody who has a disability, just like life. So just because you're born on the same day, born at the same time, does not mean you like the same things, do the same things. Well, this is the same way. Every disability is different, so every scenario is going to be different for you, even if you have the same disability as somebody else. So, let's get down to it. So, everybody has some of the same transitional periods or points in their life. High school age to adult age, there's a bunch of transitions that happen to everybody regardless of whether you have a disability or don't have a disability. And those are the right to vote. You usually finish school and you're deciding what's next. Now, when you have a disability, there's other things that come into play with those things, and I'll get into those, a few of those, in just a second. So, like I said, the right to vote happens across the board whether you have a disability. Now, some families may choose to change those a little bit, but the transitional point that happens when you turn 18, you're given that right to vote regardless of whether you have a disability or not. So, and what the person or individual, same thing, whoever the scenario is, affecting has the right to do with that what they want. And depending on your disability or other things, that may change just a little bit. So, but anyway, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Sorry. So, along with the normal transitional point that all that stuff that happens when you turn 18, just like if you were an able-bodied high school student, you've got to decide, am I going to go to college, or is what I've got in the last 12 years all I need? Just like everybody else, college isn't for everybody, regardless of whether you have a disability or not. And some disabilities, college isn't going to be able to happen just because your disability won't allow it. But in my case, I was able to go to college. I'm in college right now. So, as of right now, I'll graduate with my BS, Bachelor's of Science, in about a year to a year and a half, depending on how things shake out. So that was an option for me. So, but then again, if college is a yes for you and you have a disability, there's tons of different ways you're gonna have to, tons of different ways you could do college. Whether it's 2-year, 4-year, on campus, distance learning like mine, where you do everything online, taking some classes online, or there's an option where you can take some classes online, some classes on campus, 1 day, 2 days. It doesn't matter. How you do college is just like any normal college student. You're gonna have to figure out what's best for you, and how it's going to be affected by your disability. One major piece that disabled students have, if they decide to go to the college route, most, actually I think all colleges now are required to have a disability services office, or disability assistance center, depending on what your school calls it. My school calls it the DAS office, and I've gotten emails from them once or twice throughout the last couple of years, just asking if I need anything or if anything has changed. Because that's another factor. Sometimes when you make a choice to transition to something from something else, disabilities can change depending on what type of disability it is. Some disabilities can get better. Some disabilities can get worse. So those are all factors you're going to have to take into account in any transitional scenario, whether it's from high school to college, or high school to the workforce, or anything like that. So, is college an option for people with disabilities? The answer is yes. What does that look like? Again, just like most things, is by a scenario basis up to the individual. I chose to go one route. For some people, that the route of doing everything online, totally away from campus, doesn't work. For me, it does. Um, and if you guys want me to get further into the distance learning side of things, that can be a completely different video. Um, so, other transitional periods that disabled people might find challenging, yeah, is going to the workforce. Um, but just like with school, there's tons of different options. Um, most states have what they call vocational rehab, where you can get job training, um, and they will help you find a job that will suit your specific disability and allow you to work. I haven't worked with Voc Rehab personally, but I know a lot of people who have, and usually I hear pretty good things. So, because like I said, sometimes depending on your disability, um, college isn't gonna be an option, or at the time that you finish high school and transition, you don't think college is gonna be an option because you need to work on some stuff first. And then you've got the question of, can I go to work? Yes or no, because just like the college option, some disabilities, depending on the severity, you're not going to be able to work. So what happens then? Here's where the waters get a little murky. You can go on Social Security benefits, and in some cases, you can have Social Security benefits and work. Um, your benefits will be less. Like for me, right now, I'm in the process of getting I'm in the process of getting SSI benefits. Um, but I still want to work. So, but right now, with me going to school full time and having transportation issues, um, working and going to school, unless I find the right fit, isn't really going to be an option. But if the right fit comes along, I can work, given the right circumstances. Because again, the scenario that you're in can change. So, for my instance, being in a chair, um, I can't go work at McDonald's just because spacing and safety issues happen. Um, so it was in my best interest to go to college first and get a degree to where I can actually get a job that would allow me to work. But the way I do that is to get a degree and to volunteer, which is what I do. I'm volunteering with 2 different ministries, getting experience. So when I get that degree, I can go in and say, okay, I've got all this experience and I've got the degree. So living with a disability, just like being a normal teenager going through transitions, is one of those things where one question answered leads to a bunch of other questions. And sometimes it takes a while to get those questions answered. So let me stop right here and give you guys a piece of advice. If you're hyperventilating right now, going, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if school is an option. I don't know if work's an option. I don't know if... Take a breath. It's okay. God knows. So he's going to put you in the right situation and give you the right pieces to put the puzzle together because he's already seen that puzzle. One question I'm getting a lot lately is, what about marriage? Is that a transition? Is that a path you can go down? Yeah, that's a path you can go down. If you want. For me, it is a path I want. And I know that God has someone special out there for me, waiting on me. And that special someone may not know it yet, but I'm their special someone waiting for them. And when it's time for God to put us together, he'll put us together. But that is something that I have always wanted. I didn't know if I was going to be able to achieve that, and so far it looks like that's something I'm going to be able to do. Am I there yet? No. When will I be there? I don't know. And that's another thing about transition from high school age to adult age. When you were a kid, you had parents and doctors and all these people telling you can't do this stuff. And even when you get to adulthood and you hit the have a disability, you still might have those. But when you hit adulthood, unless there are extenuating circumstances that are caused by your disability, you have the choice to break that glass ceiling of what everybody says you can do or can't do. So, I know that's a really basic overview, but the simplest way to put all of this is that transitioning from high school or teenage years to adulthood with a disability is not that different from transitioning from teenage years to adulthood if you didn't have a disability in general. Specifically, your scenarios may be a little bit different due to health issues or just what you need. Like right now, I can't drive. I will never be able to drive. So, I know that for me specifically, I'm gonna always need transportation. Right now, it's my family and friends. Like tonight, I'm going to see Avengers Endgame with friends. One of them is coming to pick me up. But that's something that we've accounted for. So your specific scenario as far as how can you transition from this to this to this? You're gonna have to figure out. I can't tell you that. That's going to have to come from people who specifically know you and know your situation. And I will tell you something as a almost 24-year-old guy. Don't be afraid to use your voice. I was afraid for a long time, and in some instances I still am. But if you have a voice, use it. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, ask somebody you feel you can trust and let them speak for you. So, transition is one of those topics where there's not a lot of answers, but there is a lot of answers. It just depends on what situation you are in. So I hope that answers the question for my friend. If you guys have any questions, go drop them in the comment section below. Like, share the video. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. My name is PJ, and until next time, remember, disability never sleeps, so until the job gets done, neither will I. And I will see you guys later.